They're some of the most well-designed locations that facilitate the best gameplay experiences. Hey everybody, Dom here, and today we're going to count down the top 10 best official Team Fortress 2 maps. For this list, we'll be ranking maps that play well, are endlessly replayable, are aesthetically pleasing and technically outstanding, and, when mentioned, get us hyped to play some Team Fortress 2. Halloween and utility maps such as Item Test are exempt from this list. Only non-beta official maps that are meant to be played are considered. Anyways, let's begin the list. Number 10. Capture the Flag 2 Fort Invasion. This map is on this list because of its aesthetics. 2 Fort Invasion is an amazing technical feat. With its massive seamless integration of props and brushwork, the map makes us question if this is still the source engine. It has great lighting, great effects, and tells us a story with its visuals. There's also a picture of a Labrador and a poster. This entry would be in a better spot on this list, but the map is still 2 Fort in terms of gameplay, and 2 Fort has poor gameplay, even with the addition of explosive barrels. Number 9. Arena and King of the Hill Nucleus. This is probably a surprising inclusion on this list for most people because this map has some flaws. Flaws like spawn camping. Despite having multiple exits, it's really easy for spawn camping to occur on Nucleus. Another problem is players deciding to roam around and fight each other rather than play the objective. In spite of these two negative points, the positive outweighs the negative. The map plays well most of the time and looks really nice. It has a minimalistic sort of look where the majority of detail comes from huge plain structures that bring focus to the center of the map. The control point in the center of the map is suspended above an instant death pit, so there's always a sense of danger and excitement when fighting over it. Number 8. King of the Hill King. Also called King Kong, King of the Hill King is on this list because of its aesthetics. When the map was originally added to the game, it broke new ground on what was considered inside the bounds of Team Fortress 2's art style. The map itself is a solid King of the Hill map. It plays well and has many alternative routes. The center of the map is well balanced between being wide open and having cover, but the center point itself has some problems. It's downhill slightly, so it's easy to spam damage into. In addition, with 4 ways to possibly ambush a control point, it never truly feels like a safe place to be. The last thing to note about King is that it uses vertical space really well. Number 7. Arena, Capture the Flag, and King of the Hill Sawmill. One of the rare occasions where a map isn't completely symmetrical, but probably should be because it's part of symmetrical game modes, Sawmill sure is an enigma. It has a deceptively simple gimmick to it. In the center of the map are 2 spinning saw blades that move back and forth, acting as cover and instantly killing anyone who gets too close. The saw blades make for hilarious kills and limitless puns about how the victim never saw that coming. Besides not being symmetrical, the map's downsides are that it's too easy to spawn camp a team, and snipers can snipe into the center room from just outside their spawns. Number 6. Man vs. Machine Rottenburg. Rotenberg's probably the best man vs. machine map in the game. It has small improvements and quality of life changes that add up to a more enjoyable experience compared to other man vs. machine maps. As an example, the upgrade station near the front line is a really big time saver. The map has a nice underutilized theme. It feels like a quaint small town up until all the robots start to pour in and flood the streets. In terms of gameplay, the map has many locations where it's possible to stabilize and rebound after losing some ground. It depends on the situation, but usually losing an area to the robots doesn't necessarily mean it can't be reconquered before the next wave. Certain map elements like choke point hallways, height advantages, and access to health and ammo packs help facilitate this. The end of the map near the spawn rooms is noteworthy. It utilizes a multi-level structure that allows bots to be fought off from a long distance before they reach the bomb hatch. Number 5. Attack and Defend Control Point Steel. The map that people metaphorically find themselves lost in when taking in the exquisite details. And also literally find themselves lost in because they don't yet know the layout of. Steel is a great map despite it suffering from architecture too complex for people to understand at first. Due to the nature of Steel, it plays differently every round. There's space for experimentation and use of strategic play. An additional layer of strategy exists on the map where players on the defending team have to ration their players' attention across 2 points to defend. On the attacker side, the situation is even more complex. They have to decide when to stop capturing points and start making the push for the final point. This decision branches off into the idea of bluffing a push, or misleading the opponent into defending something unimportant. Steel truly is a cerebral map. The map has some problems. Many passages are small. They can't easily be rocket jumped in, and encourage spam. One main hallway in the map passes directly by 2 spawn doors, and inevitably leads to spawn camping. Number 4. Control Point Freight. Freight is a well-rounded map. It has no outstandingly positive characteristics, but it's never disappointing to play. The map flows well. The front line is always obvious, and there are many side paths for alternative ways to gain ground and push the enemy team. The gimmick of the map is that there are 2 sets of train tracks that pass through key areas. Occasionally, trains use these tracks through the map. The trains can run over and kill players, but their main function is to change the situation of the map. They cut off paths and force players to wait or take alternative paths. They also provide temporary cover and height advantages when stood on top of. Number 3. Payload Upward. Upward is a technically impressive map in terms of its vast open space and skybox. The map mixes themes between barren wasteland, desert, island, and industrial workplace. In terms of gameplay, Upward fares well. The map has many areas that cater to certain classes. As an example, perches exist for engineers and snipers to set up on. Side areas with less traffic are great for spies and scouts to get around unnoticed. And instant death pits help classes that push enemies around. The map's ups and downs in geometry work interestingly in a tactical sense. They can function as cover and provide slight advantages when used well. The final part of Upward is well designed. Both teams have side paths on multiple levels and various ways to tackle the situation. This differentiates Upward's final area from most payload maps, as players engage in more intimate, smaller battles, rather than one singular wall of spam like other maps. Number 2. Attack and defend control point Degroot Keep. Valve tried something new, and it paid off. When Degroot Keep was added to the game, it introduced a new rule-changing game modifier called Medieval Mode. Medieval Mode is basically a set of rules that, among other things, restricts players to melee weapons as well as utility weapons and literal medieval weapons, like bows and crossbows. Medieval Mode is great fun, and Degroot Keep is built well around its short-range combat. Degroot Keep incredibly mixes gameplay elements with a definitive theme. The way the map works is players on the attacking team fight to capture 2 control points to open the castle's gates. Once accomplished, a heroic war flare plays. This music plays to hype everyone and signify the gates are open to capture the final point. This feels like raiding a castle. The map is a perfect example of how a story can be told in a multiplayer shooter. Without a single word of dialogue, players distinctively understand what's going on, and it's epic. The only thing that's unfortunate about Degroot Keep and Medieval Mode is the lack of support it's received. At the time of recording this, the only items explicitly designed for the mode came out with its launch. In addition, no new maps were ever introduced, and the balance between the classes is in shambles. Before revealing the number 1 pick, here's an honourable mention. Special Delivery Doomsday Event. It's a Halloween map, so that's why it's not on this list. When it was added to the game, it really shook up the world of Team Fortress 2 with the introduction of the bumper car minigames. A unique Halloween map gimmick that absolutely could not have been predicted. The map itself contains some great self-referential humor in the form of posters and carnival games. Number 1. Player Destruction, Watergate. The origin of the We Are in the Beam internet meme, Watergate is a beautiful riverside brewery themed map. Alien spaceships pass over the center of the map and emit a beam that pulls players into the sky. The entire area this takes place in is well designed. It makes great use of vertical space with plenty of ledges and fall damage cancelling water. The ship is also a great visual cue as to what's going on and where attention should be. The map introduced a new game mode to Team Fortress 2, Player Destruction. The game mode has players kill each other in order to collect collectibles, to deposit to make progress towards a round victory. One problem in Team Fortress 2 is players often prioritize killing each other over doing map objectives. This game mode makes it so regardless of what a player is doing, they're making progress towards the map's objective, which in turn makes for fun gameplay. The map has many side paths. Maps with many optional routes usually cause battles to happen sporadically around. This still holds true on Watergate, but it doesn't matter where players kill each other on this map, they're still making progress towards the objective. The last noteworthy thing about Watergate is its use of little details. Things like the drunken demomans in the spawn rooms, the hidden alien canisters, and the names of the fictional beers are all nice touches. Do you agree with this list? What maps do you think are the best? Post a comment and tell everyone what you think. Thanks for watching! Au revoir!